let's go ahead and get started. So YouTube, obviously most people have used it. I mean, most people are at least vaguely familiar with it. We're going to go through a lot of the whys. I'm a big one on why should we do something, all that fun stuff. But it really, really, really does need to be a part of your mix now. It is the second largest search engine. So I'm kind of skipping ahead to one of my stats coming up, but it's the second largest search engine out there. So, I mean, why wouldn't you want to leverage that? It also gets the reins as the second largest social media site. So versatility is really what YouTube is all about. There's a lot that you can do with YouTube. There's a lot that that people basically can engage with. And that's the name of the game. So let's go through some specifics here. And obviously we're going to go over some of the basics, which is just, videos. They're the best way to stand out and really differentiate yourself with your competitors. Now, I'm going to put a caveat on this, that not everybody watches videos. We know the demographics very largely. So, I mean, whether your target demographics, a younger client, let's just say 18 to 24 versus a senior client that's aged 55 plus, again, there's a variety of people that watch it. There's not one thing that says, well, really, our senior population doesn't watch videos. They are the largest growing demographic on social as a whole. So there's tons of opportunity here to connect with a variety of people. Really, it comes down to how people absorb information. And this is one that a lot of people get confused about, because when you're targeting demographics, even within demographics, there are people that love to read, like me. I love to read. I watch the occasional video, maybe that occasional how-to video. Certainly we have a presence on YouTube ourselves, but when you look at the big picture, I prefer to read. My wife, completely the opposite. She loves to watch the videos. And so again, this is where demographics wise, you have two different audiences even within a demographic. So again, we try to encourage people to appeal to as many, the broadest audience you possibly can. And this is where, especially on websites, you'll always hear me preach, especially with blogs. There's a time and a place for written blogs. There's a time and a place for vlogs or video blogs. And so this will all play into that conversation here in a minute. Time and creativity is really what you need. This is usually a struggle for most small businesses. So we'll talk a little later about some efficiencies, some stuff that you can do to kind of help yourself out. The biggest tip that I'm going to give you today is that this doesn't need to be Spielberg work. We don't need production equipment. We don't need to, have some Hollywood, thing going on. That's not what this is all about. As a business owner, you can leverage YouTube. And like I said, there's just so many options there. So the barrier to entry should not be you don't have the right equipment. You didn't know how to do this or didn't know how to do that. I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff today that'll really kind of help put you on the right track. So again, creativity, time, that's the most important thing that you can allocate in terms of resources to YouTube. This is the most, in my opinion, one of the most efficient ways to gather and capture engagement or engage an audience. So again, tons of reasons why we're going to go through this today. We've already talked about this. YouTube has 2 billion monthly users. That's an important number to remember. Okay, so Facebook, they're obviously the largest social media network out there with 2.74 billion. Actually, that number's even low now. That number's changed. But it's really important to understand how technology companies are evaluated, and they're evaluated by the number of monthly active users. And so again, this is a huge thing. Lots of people sign up for Quicken, lots of people sign up for TurboTax and all these things, but how often do they use them? So again, the more people that use them and on a monthly basis, statistically speaking, that's your engaged audience. That's who you really want to leverage in this. So again, 2 billion users, phenomenal number. So even if you needed more, that should be your reason why you want to get on it right now. But again, it's all about the content. It's all about, what you're going to create, what you're going to curate, all that fun stuff. So again, we'll go into a little more specifics here in a minute. 74% of adults in the US use YouTube. Pretty awesome. That's more than Facebook. So again, which reaches 68% of adults. So again, it's almost twice as much as Instagram. And again, lots and lots and lots of people are on Instagram, right? That still has a growing demographic. You also have Snapchat out there, TikTok. And again, every platform has its own, really target audience or purpose. According to Pew Research, YouTube is the most popular online platform in America. So again, if you need some more whys, here they are. Let's see here. Next up, if I can move my slide, 56% of YouTube users are male, 44% are female, obviously. Again, I don't know how relevant this is. I mean, again, depending on the business, this is just a broad-based statistic that we put in there, but I do think it's important to know, and we can get really, really granular with data. I don't have it available for this deck because we're going to try to be efficient with time today. But again, understanding the demographics and where and how to target them is really important. That'll be for another conversation later. But overall, broad-based, 56% are users, 44% female. Second most visited site in the world. So again, if you needed your why, there you go. Right after Google itself, which obviously owns YouTube. Second most used social platform behind Facebook. We already talked about that. People watch, and these are the funny ones. I always look at this and I don't know if I'm disappointed or excited or where I fall into this, but again, people watch more than 1 billion hours of video on YouTube every single day. That's just insane. It's mind-blowing. Viewers 18 plus spend nearly 45 minutes on YouTube every single day. And so this encourages usage across mobile, desktop, laptops, connected TVs. Again, that concept of cutting the cord, believe it or not, YouTube TV is really, really popular. So lots of great programming on that. And again, where do they draw from? They can draw ads. You can, as a business, you can advertise there. There's a lot of benefits. So that's an average of 4.9 hours per week or 255 hours per year. For some people, I think that's really, really low. Again, younger demographics tend to spend a lot of time on YouTube. So nearly 41% of YouTube watch time happens on mobile. This number has been shrinking recently. And a lot of the social statistics, so again, there's a lot of reasons for this, but again, a lot of the social statistics as a whole have been migrating from mobile to desktop, and that's a result of COVID. So again, more people are at home. So let's go back a little bit. Let's go prior to COVID. We were all on our phones, right? We were all running around with our heads cut off 24/7. And, again, so the only time you really got to do anything like that would be on your mobile device. Well, a lot of us work from home now, so on and so forth. And so again, this is why these statistics change. So again, I think COVID threw a kind of a wrench in the gears, but you're starting to see more and more usage go back to mobile devices. So again, it's important to consider because YouTube statistics showing how much people time spend browsing YouTube, specifically, the report on actual spend time on the platform. So again, mobile versus desktop, there's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of different ways to interpret this data. So again, we can always talk about that and how it would benefit your business. Average user views nearly 9 videos a day. So again, fun, useless knowledge. And the most important part, signing up for the YouTube channel. So for those of you who don't have YouTube, or if you, hopefully by now you understand why you need it. There's a lot of great statistics, great information on this. Again, that's just kind of high level, but really the benefit is this. Like we talked about before, there is a certain demographic that is going to watch videos over read content. And so our goal or our purpose here with YouTube is really just to try to leverage as much as we possibly can. There's a variety of reasons people will watch videos. There's a variety of reasons or variety of types of videos on there. So actually, before we go into the setup, I'm going to kind of segue into a little bit here. I should have added a slide in, so I apologize. But a lot of people, a lot of business owners get hung up on YouTube because they don't know what to do. They don't know what type of content to curate. They don't know really how to take that next step. Most people, in my experience, just overcomplicate the process. And this is where, again, we have a lot of opportunity to really just think outside the box. I mean, that's really what it is. You could be going to an event, you could be going to, filming something like that. You could do short snippets. Not everything has to be a 30-minute video. In fact, statistically speaking, you want to keep your videos under about 1.5 minutes, depending on the type of video. If you're doing like an explainer video where you're demoing a product and taking it apart and putting it back together or something like that, then obviously that's going to be a little bit longer. But for some of the more common videos out there, again, 30 seconds to a minute, maybe 1.5 minutes, depending on what you're talking about. You're the best, you're going to be the best judge of this to see, what type of connection are you looking to make with your audience? How interesting is this content to your target audience? And ultimately that's what's going to prevail. But looking at the big picture, just to give you guys some ideas, you guys could do client testimonials. Those are fantastic. I have one on us. We have a great client, actually a member of the chamber, Trinity Chiropractic. And I've told this story in training classes before, but you know, Cheryl, just being the wonderful person that she is, she literally came to us and volunteered it. She literally said, hey, you know what, you guys have done such a good job for me. I really appreciate it, so on and so forth. You know, I want to do a little video for you. Wow, like how awesome is that? Believe it or not, there's still awesome people out there like that. And so a lot of the times you just need to be ready and prepared for it. And believe me, even I wasn't. I was like, okay, what do I do here? So anyway, but you know, think outside the box. How could you leverage this? So be ready, be prepared. You know, client testimonials. They're phenomenal for, again, creating that engagement, helping people get out of their own way. It creates validity behind whatever it is you do. It's that trust factor, that credibility factor. So there's a lot of benefits behind client testimonials. And most of the time, you just got to ask. You just have to literally, hey, you know, Bob, we work really hard for you and have for a number of years. We're trying to grow our business. Would you mind doing a little video for us on your experience here with blah, blah, blah? You know, so again, those are just little ways to do things. Teaser videos, those are really popular. So again, if you're doing a product launch, you know, tons of opportunity there, product or services, anything like that. Little teaser videos are great to inspire somebody to want to read more, want to learn more about something. Ultimately, those can take you to a website, take you to a link, something like that. Obviously, you have your educational videos. Those are pretty much, you know, your how-tos and things like that. I always tell clients, you know, try not to give away the farm. Ultimately, we do want people to purchase products or services from us. So, you know, as educational as these classes are, obviously I can't do everything on these training classes, or else, you know, we'd be here for 2, 3, 4 hours, if not more. And so these are brief overviews, and ultimately, you know, we teach clients enough to get started on their own. But if they need our services, certainly we're here for them. So really think about that from an educational standpoint. This right here is an educational video. This right here will go on YouTube later. So just as an example. Other ways, introduction to staff. I think this is a really underutilized option for YouTube. Staff videos. People love to see who's coming in their home. So imagine this as an executive committee. So, or as an, you know, a business executive here, let's say CEO of the company, so on and so forth. Imagine a little intro video that talks about who they are, what they bring to the table, why they're here, you know, about the business, so on and so forth. Even down, I've seen service-based businesses now. They're really starting to get fancy, where you're starting to see service-based businesses. They'll have little video introduction for their technicians coming into the house. I know, and again, nothing against my wife. She's very capable of holding her own, but it's still an uncomfortable factor when somebody comes into the house and I'm not there. It's just, I don't know. I just have hangups with that. But again, I think it's totally cool. We just had this where we had somebody over the house to service our AC. And again, they sent me literally a little intro video. Hey, you know, I think his name was Mark. Mark's coming over today, blah, blah, blah. Here's a little video of him. And again, well put together. A little more professional than maybe I would have liked to have seen. I would just have preferred a little, hey, you know, in video intro, hey, I'm Mark, I'm with, you know, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I do. Been in the business 12 years. I look forward to working with you guys. You know, again, doesn't have to be complicated, but it was kind of a nice little touch that I got to see the person literally coming into my house. So I know there's other marketing companies out there that, again, I aspire to be better than them. And I look at some of the stuff they do, like they do video introductions of their campaign managers for, you know, new accounts. I just think to myself, how cool. This is the person that they're going to be working with. And whether the person watches it or not, it's still an awesome little intro, right? So those are just little ways that you can use it. But again, within your, there's literally, I don't think there's any barriers to this. I don't think there's any reason why you wouldn't want to create a video. I always think the more content, the better, whether it's written or in video. Just think outside the box. Think about your target audience and what you could possibly do and bring to the table. What would somebody want to hear about, or what would you want to get across to them? And how could you put that into a video? So again, that's just my little 2 cents. There's literally dozens and dozens and dozens of other ways or reasons to do videos or, you know, concepts there. So again, if you want a list, I actually, believe it or not, do have a list. So I can send that out to you if you need. But let's go ahead and get started with setting up a YouTube channel. It's super simple. So this, again, should not be a barrier to you guys. This should be something that you can very easily go and set up. Again, literally, what is this? 1, 2, 4, 6 steps, if I can count bullet points right. the biggest key is, and this is what I really stress to people, is that especially with Google, a lot of us have Gmail accounts, personal Gmail accounts. Make sure you have a company one. Again, depending on your role within a company, I always tell clients, hey, people move on, and it's not a bad thing. It's not to say, or to prep for disaster or anything, but people move on, and that's okay. So creating it under a company account is always preferred, especially for a business. So we advise it. Have a Gmail account dedicated to the business. That way, as people come and go with organizations, you're not sitting there scrambling to get access to an account or transfer ownership and do all that stuff. So pro tip there, create a company account. Once you're signed in, you can visit your homepage. You can click on, your little Google avatar. You can change stuff. We'll go into that a little bit later. But most important thing, choose a business name, and then you just create it. It's literally that simple. And again, I probably oversimplified it a little bit, but follow the directions. I can't stress that enough. I have a little tutorial link. Again, YouTube did a great job creating their own video for it. So if you need that link, let me know. We can send that out as well. Or you can simply just go to YouTube and search how to set up a YouTube account. It's very, very simple. Next up here, once you're in this, we're gonna spend a little bit of time on this today, which is personalizing your channel. Once you've done the initial setup, you got to return to the home page. In the top left-hand corner, there's going to be a drop down with some options. I tell every client, go through these. Don't just try to listen or find out, hey, all I need to do is this to get it going. Don't just get it going. This is your first impression, honestly, with a lot of people. And I always say to clients, listen, you really need to put your best foot forward here. You have one shot to make a great first impression. So here's your opportunity. Just take your time with it. If you need to get back to it later, whatever, do your thing. But, you need to pay attention to all of these different things. How we learned YouTube, and this was a long time ago, and it's evolved constantly. So again, we'll get a little update. Hey, YouTube's added this. I don't read what the update was. I really don't care. I actually just go explore it. That's how I find that's a best practice for me, because I know I'm a visual learner. I'm a hands-on learner, actually. So I got to do. I can't just sit there and look, this, that. Hey, guys. So I have to do that. So again, do yourself a favor. When you log into YouTube, and you create your channel, go through each of the different options. You can organize things in various ways, trending videos, your library, all sorts of stuff. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And then you can even subscribe to channels, and I do encourage that you do that. It builds good faith. A lot of people will see that. Other businesses see that you're subscribing to them, and oftentimes they'll reciprocate and they'll subscribe to your channel too. So again, there's a lot of benefit to that. But again, it needs to be relative. Next up, the layout. So once you've done the initial setup, and here I'm going to transition real quick. Sorry, let me go here, and I'm going to have to stop the presentation for just a minute while we switch this over.
Put the glasses on.
You want to? Or do you want me to get a little thing for it?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Definitely put the glasses on.
A little bit here on this side too.
So again, when you look at this, this is YouTube right here. This is just our page and how we set it up. You can see the little avatar up here, manage your Google account. You can come into your channel. Again, take your time and look through all of these things here. You can change your themes up, YouTube Studio. We'll talk about that in a minute. You can purchase memberships, all sorts of options here. Left-hand side, you can see our subscriptions and what we're looking at, all sorts of stuff. So again, get very, very, very familiar with this. Most important one that I will show you here is going to be the video link, the add video. This is one everybody always asks, hey, where do I upload a video? It's right there. It's super simple. You would think it'd be a little more intuitive, that they'd have an option here, they'd have something in a breakdown. No, it's right here. So again, add a video there. Super, super simple. All right, so going through this, I'll get back to that in just a minute. Whoop. Let's go back to that page. All right, so the layout. So when we look at this again, we'll go back to the layout in a minute. There's drop downs, you saw those. You can see trending videos, the libraries, again, subscriptions, all that fun stuff there. On the top right-hand corner, there's going to be 4 buttons. The one closest to the center, that's the video one that we just showed. That's where you upload your videos. You can either go live or you can upload a video there. And again, we're not going to go through the other ones right now, but you can see those. The most important one, obviously, is just learning how to upload your videos. Next up, personalize your channel. Add channel art, fill in business information, channel trailer. I'm going to teach you guys something really cool here. And again, I say this a lot in my presentations here. For those who haven't used it, I recommend Canva. Canva is just super simple. It's free. It doesn't cost any money. But I want to show this to you because, again, if my internet would kick in, they have templates in here for you. So if I type in YouTube, again, channel art, display ads, icon, thumbnails, video ads, intros, any number of opportunities here you can click on. So again, if I need to create some channel art, here's a great opportunity to come in here and use this. And over here, you can see, let me blow this up real quick. You can come in here, click on templates, and again, don't get caught up in the backgrounds, don't get caught up in this stuff. Again, there's any number of opportunities here. So this, again, it's just a great way. They have some light video editing in here. There's a lot of opportunity. You can see they have some stock videos if you're trying to create like, you know, something, whatever you're trying to create. I've done video slideshows in here. So there's a lot of opportunity within Canva to produce some pretty awesome content. And you can see, you know, again, just go through this. If you need some stock filler videos, you can animate logos in here. There's just so much you can do. It's really, really cool. So I would say for all those out there that need some help creating stuff, again, this is where I would go. You can also create, again, your channel art. So again, your channel art is going to be in your headers. Sorry, I'll show you that here. And bear with me. So you can customize your channel here. And again, there's headers. Sorry, my computer's really apparently slow today, so it's taking a while to load. But again, click around on all these buttons. These are fantastic things to customize and personalize your channel. You can create trailers. You can add, again, channel trailers are a lot of fun. That's a relatively new one there. You can do your branding with your logos, all sorts of fun stuff there, banner images. And then obviously you have your basic info. You can tell people about the business, whatever it is you want to feature, whatever it is you want to say. So again, like I said, play around with this and customize it. Some people have heard about, you know, monetizing YouTube. You know, you get paid for views. Once you hit, I think it's 10,000 followers off the top of my head. Again, you can monetize your page, comments, analytics, everything right here. Once you get your page up, you start uploading videos, you're going to start paying attention to this. This is really, really important. So again, this is where you're going to live, but obviously the dashboard is going to be your main feature. It's going to tell you what you need to have on there, so on and so forth, and you can go from there. So going back to the presentation here. So add your channel art, fill in your business info, create a little channel trailer. You can do all that from Canva. Verifying your channel. So once you hit a certain number of subscribers, you can actually verify your channel. That's where you get the little checkbox. Again, it's kind of something to aspire to as a business. You want to make sure that you hit these thresholds. This is where, again, YouTube really starts paying off for you. So again, 100,000 subscribers, which a lot of people say, oh my God, that sounds ridiculous. How am I ever going to get there? If you produce the right content, believe me when I say you can get there. I have clients that have gotten there. Like I said, it's really not hard, but you have to take a vested interest in your channel to do that. It's not something just because you produce a few videos that's going to come. You got to make this so where it's interactive, you engage with it. You know, it really does require a lot of work and a lot of time. Interacting with fans and followers. So this kind of plays into that. Commenting, organize, you know, your videos. You can boost your videos engagement and traffic to people who respond and comment. So again, think about this way. It's a social media network. So at the end of the day, YouTube, based on engagement, will feature and will show your video to more people. That's the same thing with Facebook. That's how you get one up on the algorithms, is that, you know, you start having people like, follow, subscribe, comment, so on and so forth. All of a sudden now, more and more people will start to see this. So again, you can like, you can encourage subscriptions, you have playlists, sharing, messages. You really need to embrace this type of stuff. Again, comment on other videos. You know, if you have, let's just say you let's use a chamber business. Let's say somebody produced a video. You can go and comment on that video. Hey, you know, I'm Chris with No Boundaries Marketing Group. You can put a link in your comment, you know, all sorts of stuff. There's a ton of ways to interact with these posts. So again, browse around and get familiar with what you're able to do. Subscriptions are the best way to stay up to date with brands. So again, this is where a lot of businesses fall short too, is that they don't ask anybody to subscribe to their channel. And we're hypocrites. I mean, believe me when I say we should have a very dynamic page, and we don't. And so again, that's because as a small business owner, I don't have the time to do it. So over time, that's always going to be one of our goals, is to curate more customized content for our business. But again, it has to start with dedicating that time. Sharing, you can share your videos on a ton of platforms, Twitter, Facebook, I mean, really anywhere and everywhere. So this should be something, as you create videos, you should be sharing them. Now, I will put an asterisk on this, that we'll talk about Facebook for a minute. I see a lot of people that try to share YouTube videos on Facebook, and got to remember, they don't play nice in the sandbox. YouTube and Facebook, again, is as nice of a front as they have. You know, Facebook doesn't like YouTube videos. Why? Well, because Facebook has its own native video app. So they want you to use that. When you use YouTube, you'll see where you might have they might not have the right visual. There's just a ton of issues with that, and it's purpose built. Facebook doesn't want you to do it. So that's the only asterisk that I put on there, is again, you probably don't want to use your YouTube videos for Facebook. I will just say, you upload those videos to Facebook natively. So again, that's a huge thing. Make sure you use Facebook's tool, but you can encourage people to like and follow your YouTube page. You can put the link into your channel. You can do that stuff, and that will help build the following. It will help do that stuff. You can do little teasers, all sorts of stuff. But the idea is, again, people won't know to connect if you don't tell them about it. And then messages, again, you can also share private videos and messages with friends and contacts on YouTube. Again, messages are limited. I mean, I would prefer more about the likes and the actual comments on the videos than I would just sharing private messages. Kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion. YouTube Live, for those who have done Facebook Live, YouTube Live is very, very similar. If you didn't know, Facebook and YouTube both prioritize live videos. So again, it's that immediate gratification, that immediate action that they're looking for. So similar to Facebook Live, YouTube has that. Broadcasting, you know, news, sports, anything. I mean, there's tons of stuff you can find on YouTube Live. Key to this, again, you know, standard video formats, there's really not much to it. I mean, again, if you've done Facebook Live, it's pretty easy to use. You can go, there's 4 ways to go about it. Quickest is stream now. Second would be through the events tab, so on and so forth. So third option would be for the mobile app. And then again, last, you can stream from your computer's webcam. So again, we do a lot of webcam stuff. So again, let's see here. And then YouTubers and influencers. This is a common one, another question that we get a lot. How do we leverage YouTube or influencers on there? Again, lots of opportunity for that. So if you've ever, the biggest thing that you have to do, and we did a whole class on influencers, but I'm going to kind of go through that a little bit more here. When it comes to influencers, you need to find a common ground. You need to find a common interest. And this is, again, where a lot of people go wrong, is that they have a product or service. So I'll pick on real estate agents for a minute. So if you're a real estate agent and you have somebody in a local market, let's just say a celebrity or somebody that, you know, has a decent number of followers, you try to make that connection and you encourage them to pitch your products, right? Well, that doesn't necessarily work like that. You know, why would they do that? They have a vested interest in their own success by not actually just throwing everybody's business out there, or everybody's saying. A lot of influencers that worked really, really hard to build these followers, they protect that. And so this is where, again, it's all about the relationship. So with YouTubers and influencers, you need to make sure that you establish a relationship. It could be a business with a common interest. It could be, you know, again, a completely unrelated business that you're looking to network with. An example for us would be, obviously, we're a B2B marketing company. So, you know, for me, I can literally network with anybody. We're a very broad-based, we have a very broad audience, let's say. But if I was a real estate agent, you know, who would I want to network with? Maybe interior designers, maybe movers. I mean, there's a variety of industries that, you know, could obviously share a client base together. Would you network with other real estate agents? Maybe. probably not going to get any clients from that. But again, like I said, there's a lot of things that can be had from that. So think outside the box. Who could you network with? Nonprofits are a fantastic one. Engage with them on YouTube. Again, a lot of those, it's especially for nonprofits, let's say animal shelters, things like that. Very easy for them to get followers because, again, it appeals to the heart. That's something that they can leverage to their advantage. But for you as a business owner, you can also kind of get into that as well by supporting them, doing videos with them that ultimately help build your channel and theirs. So leveraging influencers is really not that difficult. Again, it's just, you got to treat it like a relationship. You got to treat it like, hey, I'm Chris with No Boundaries. I've been watching your videos for a while, and I really enjoy, the content that you're curating. I'd love to connect with you, maybe collaborate on a video. It all starts with a nice introduction. And then from there, again, sometimes you're going to have to pay for that. Again, this is a business for a lot of these people. So, some stuff is going to be paid. Otherwise, if you're maybe just reaching out to another business, that collaboration, you just need to have that conversation and introduce it and set those expectations up front. So again, tons of different options there. But if you have any questions on influencers, let me know. We can, like I said, we can look at influencers and I can give you ideas on who to reach out to, what industries might be relative, so on and so forth. And last but not least, tips and tricks. So when we look at this, again, I've said this now a couple of times, encourage viewers to subscribe. I think that's pretty common sense. Share videos on other social platforms, caveat or asterisk being Facebook. Again, they get a little sensitive with that. Using relevant keywords and title tags and descriptions. So again, when you're uploading a video, I don't have a video to upload to show you guys, but I will just say you're going to have the opportunity to do a title. You're going to have an opportunity to put descriptions, and there's a lot of fields that you can fill out there. Do yourself a favor and fill out as many as you can and be as descriptive as possible. The most important thing is, again, using relevant keywords. When a lot of people come to us and they want to know, like, how do we game the system? I can tell you this. Yeah, there's certain things that you can do, but again, YouTube catches on to this stuff. It becomes, just a cycle. If you do things the right way, again, it might be slow to go. You might take a little more longer, maybe 5 more minutes than, before, but do things the right way. It doesn't take a lot of effort to do this. They make it pretty darn easy for you. But, when you're doing a title tag or title, for example, make sure it's relative. The reason why you don't want to sit there and manipulate and maybe do something that might get you a few more views is because, again, are you setting the consumer's right expectation? Sometimes you'll look at these video tags and you'll be like, what is this video even about? You look at the title and you're like, I have no idea what that's even about. Or some of the videos, like you'll read the title and then you watch the video and it's like, that had nothing to do with that. So avoid those type of situations because, again, where it might get you additional visibility, it ends up, you sacrifice that user experience, and that's obviously not a good thing. Other ones are going to be descriptions. So again, YouTube allows you to put a description of the video in, and so we want to be cognizant. Think about it this way. The more times you say something when it comes to keyword stuffing, so like, again, marketing, the more times I say marketing, again, the more likely you are to provide that service, right? And so YouTube's no different. When you talk about something, you want to make sure that it's literal, like it directly references what you're doing. So if you're going through a video and you're doing a little tutorial on how to repair a washing machine, and maybe it's a Maytag washing machine. So you're going to want those keywords in there. But think about it no different than writing a blog. Write your description relative to the video. It's literally that easy. You can, if you want to really appeal to a local audience, you can try what's called geo stuffing, which just means like I might put Maytag dryer repair in Phoenix, Arizona. That would be an example of a geo stuff. But again, we want to appeal to the broadest audience possible. So geo stuffing is probably not going to work for most businesses. Let's see here. Engage with similar content uploaded by other users. Again, pretty self-explanatory there. So to get the most out of YouTube, again, you want to make sure that you're engaging, you're creating that relationship with other people, other content uploaded by other users. They oftentimes reciprocate by watching your stuff or liking or engaging with yours. So again, you're playing to that algorithm. The more people that like and follow your stuff, the more, authoritative Google views you, or YouTube in this instance views you. Display content uploaded by other users. Obviously, curate playlists, upload content regularly. I'm going to just touch on that real quick. This is a common mistake that we see with businesses, is that when they upload content, they do one and they're done. And then when that doesn't work out, they just, this isn't for me. You have to be consistent. And again, this is why largely we have not done it, because I don't have the time to be consistent with it right now. And I know in order to get the most out of YouTube, I need consistent content. So develop a game plan in advance. I'm going to do one video a week for the next 8 weeks and stick to that. So it should be no different than anything else you do in your business. Again, be consistent with it. The more regular you post, the more valuable this is going to be for you. The more people that are going to engage. Again, if you follow these tips, it's a no-brainer. Believe me when I say it really does. It's really this easy. So you just got to be consistent. Don't miss a mark. Again, I know if I missed a week, it's not such a big deal. Just again, next week, pick it back up, but try to be consistent. So for me, I know that I've set the expectation for me. I want to do one marketing video a week for my followers. I think that's doable. I think it's reasonable. And so that's a goal that we have to curate here over the next year, is a video a week. So 52 videos in the entire year to help businesses grow. We can do that. So again, set yourself a similar goal. Use clickable references. So again, you can put links in there. So if you're talking about dryer repair, so within the video, after the video is done, you can put a link in there. Okay, for more information, visit No Boundaries Marketing Group /YouTube. And then again, have that link in there. Work with top content creators for product or service placement. So that goes back to influencers. Again, influencers really intimidate people for some reason. I don't know why. It's usually the process that they find to be cumbersome or just doesn't work really well. I can tell you, don't let that intimidate you. It absolutely is not that difficult. You can get in there, just build that relationship. It's that easy. Use YouTube stories, again, just like Instagram stories. If you're familiar with YouTube, you have Instagram stories, and then you can run a contest. Lots of times, contests are great ways to attract people. Hey, like or comment on a page. You'll see that commonly on Facebook and stuff where, hey, you know what? Watch our video. We just uploaded this. Watch our video to the end and let us know what you found to be the most interesting part. We'll pick one contestant out of the list for a chance to win a $50 gift card. Something like that. Super easy. Doesn't have to be super expensive. But again, it oftentimes will encourage people to watch those videos. So I know that's a ton of information. I'm just going to do one last little illustration for YouTube itself. So again, when you're on here, you can see once you're in your channel, you can upload a video here. You can go live here. So tons of options there. Make sure too, you view your analytics. I can't stress this enough. You need to see, again, if you're going to take this seriously and you're going to go through this, I want to see how many people view, how many people watch, subscribers, so on and so forth. Let's see here. I'm on literally my wrong channel. I'll have to look for that. So anyway, we have two. Anyway, we're not going to go through that now. You can look at your, again, copyright, if you have copyrighted material on there, or if you've had any removal requests. So oftentimes when people put videos in the background or audio in the background, music, you'll find that, again, that violates copyright. So you'll have a request in here. So again, just pay attention to this stuff. Again, YouTube Data Studio, I think, was another one. Another common question when we get there. Creator, it's a great resource. So again, under Studio here. Oops. Come on. Where is it? So let me go back here. So under Create, when you go to upload a video, there is some light editing features within YouTube. So again, you can play around with that. So just explore.